Welcome, everyone. My name is Ryan, the event marketing specialist at NCYM. Every year, NCYC is encompassed by the main theme that helps to inspire its attendees and speakers. This theme is developed throughout the planning process and is always centered around a main image. As part of my job, I get the opportunity to work with talented and creative individuals who help to produce beautiful images and marketing for our conference. One of these creators who I would like to introduce today is Jeremy Clevenger, a live events content designer. This year, Jeremy and his team produced the central image around this year's theme, Walking on Water, or Caminando sobre el agua. Hi, Jeremy. And before we get any further, I just want to ask first and foremost, when we approached you with the theme Walking on Water, what were your initial thoughts?
Wow. Well, thank you for having me. First off, but yeah, it was exciting because I think the theme "Walking on Water" is like there's so many images that come to mind. I mean, it's very bright and vivid, and that's such a cool story to begin with. I mean, Jesus walking on water and inviting them out, out of the boat, and like that whole um, that trust and like something that you really think is impossible and you can't do, but you're invited to do it, and it's just like it brings up a whole host of ideas and imagery, which is exciting for us because that gives us a lot to play with. um yeah, so it was just very exciting, but it was very bright and lots of colors, and lots of things to play off there.
Sure. And when you did produce the artwork, did you have any goals in mind, or something pieces of it that you wanted to accomplish?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because you're trying to create a logo,
Mhm.
for an event, but we also wanted it to carry over into what all of the students and everyone's going to see actually in Long Beach and what's going to fill the stage. So we wanted to tell really that entire story, which has a lot in it. There's like we said, the trust and the boat and walking on water,
Right.
but there's the storms and there's the calmness and everything that you get from that. So
Mhm.
um we wanted to be able to portray the entire story, and that kind of led to kind of what we ended up with, which tells a linear story left to right, in the
Yeah.
actual artwork, from what you would read in these Bible passages, and that was a cool collaboration between our entire team. But Robert Fiducia, a part of the NCYC, was very imperative in bringing that to light, and he had this vision for like Renaissance era painting, like Van Gogh style, these like very thick brush strokes. Um, that was in his mind, so we kind of took that and played on it even further, and that's what kind of led to what we're going to see.
Yeah, awesome. And so there's four different letters and obviously NCYC. And so there's specific designs for each one. Maybe let's just go through the four. The first one is the end with a kind of cross above a kind of a boat splashing in the water. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, and that kind of came up after we had the idea of telling the whole story through just one piece of logo, and like obviously NCYC had to be a part of it. And then it kind of morphed into let's tell the story through those letters, so it kind of has a dual meaning. So for us, the end was navigating. Jesus told his disciples to navigate across the seas while he stayed in the mountains, and it's that whole like trying to get through. And it's like that was the beginning of when the storms were about to start brewing too. So again, it's navigating through even the hard times, um, literally on sea or in our own lives.
Right. Yeah, and then the next letter is C, and as it goes from left to right, you can see there's a little lightning in the clouds, and then also a large splash of water.
Yep. So the sea was, very literally clouds. It's that whole idea of the storm really starting to brew, and things that can be really difficult for us. So the sea is clouds.
Mhm. Awesome. And then why is the Jesus in the white and glowing Jesus?
Yep, that one's say yes to Jesus. He approached them and said, "Hey, you can walk on water too. Come on out here." And it's that whole idea of like, if you're invited, say yes.
Mhm.
So why yes?
And then the sea, it almost looks like the sun rising, and it's also on the brighter side of the images. So
Yep, and that leads us to calmness. That's the calm waters. Once we decide to put all
Mhm.
of our trust in Jesus and to say yes, it kind of leads to what can be calm times.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I just love the kind of storyline from left to right, and it just makes so much sense. And so when people see this artwork and really dive into the theme of walking on water, what do you hope that the conference attendees will get out of it, or how do you hope it'll inspire them?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very literal piece of work in a lot of ways. But just having the vivid colors that we use, the type of brushstrokes like that, just it's almost like being in a museum looking at this stuff.
Right.
In a way. And I want people to be able to find a part of it that they attach to in this moment of their life, whether you're going through that storm and the clouds,
Mhm.
or if you're at that part where you're struggling to say yes, like you're being called to do something, but it doesn't, maybe you don't want to say yes, maybe you don't want to believe that you're being called, or maybe you've said yes and you're in that calm part of, the journey. Like, I hope people can find a part of this painting and,
Yeah,
have it resonate with them and that they can really, take something from it.
yeah, that's awesome. How about especially on the clouds, not like literally the clouds, but were there any challenges that you guys faced when going through making this artwork?
Um, I mean, I think the hardest part was, well, the thing we have to do is think about the actual live event. We have to bring this to life beyond just a painting or a picture that you would see or, a logo on a shirt. It kind of plays two things. It has to be all of those things, but it also needs to be a part of the live event that you're going to see.
Mhm.
So we had to design in a way that was going to be easy to animate and, something that isn't just in print.
Right.
So that part was difficult in just making sure that we were aware of those things and not locking ourselves into one thing. So, the clouds and the waters especially have a lot of depth to them. So those were designed and those look the way they do just so that we could really have some fun, come November when we're building all this stuff here soon.
Yeah, and I really hope that this artwork inspires and really just dives deep into the hearts of those at NCYC. And so the 2022 National Youth Conference is taking place November 10th to 12th in beautiful Long Beach, California. And there are two ways to bring a group to NCYC. The first is to join up with a diocesan delegation if your diocesan youth ministry office is coordinating a trip. And the second is to purchase NCYC tickets as a parish or a school and attend on your own. So you can learn more about this at ncyc.us. Thank you guys.